Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the big one is here. 1 minute ago, I literally got the notification come through on my phone. Learn about how a selection of exotic armor for Hunters, Titans, and Warlocks will be changing when Destiny 2 Renegades launches on December 2nd. Now, I already know that this is going to be a fairly long blog post here, so we're not going to waste any time. I'm going to read through the entire thing, kind of give my thoughts along the way, and try to make as little cuts as possible. Alright, oh, this isn't as big as what I thought it would be, to be fair. Maybe it won't be that large. Okay, that's still okay. To be honest with you, I'm more excited for the one that comes out next week, which is all about abilities. But anyway, let's start with the developer insights, Renegades armor tuning preview. So, hello from the rewards team. Today, we are on to the second of our 3 sandbox preview articles for Renegades. This time focused on exotic armor changes. We have a selection of exotics to talk about that we have given a bit of love to match with the upcoming new artifact in Renegades, which we'll preview in a later This Week in Destiny article. Let's get to it. Boom! Let's just get straight into it. We're going to be starting with Hunter here. Boo to Hunter. Sorry. Alright, Graviton Forfeit. Graviton Forfeit was once a workhorse exotic in Destiny 1, but it has struggled to find a value in Destiny 2, especially after Void 3.0. With how abundant access to invisibility is nowadays, we've shifted this exotic into a kill streak / invis streak exotic that charges up your neutral game as you fade in and out of invisibility. So, now grants improved grenade melee and class ability recharge rate for a moderate duration each time you become invisible. So effect stacks up to 3 times. Effect does not deplete while you are invisible. Fine. At 3 stacks of the buff, successive triggers additionally grant a portion of Void Overshield. There you go. There it is. If you're a Graviton Forfeit player right there, there you go. Right, moving on to Omnioculus, we've got, given the success of other more support-centric exotics, we're leaning Omnioculus into a more potent support role to allow Hunters to fill in a bit of that more selfless fireteam role. Granting the effects of Beyond the Veil to allies now starts their health and health regen. Okay, this only applies to allies and not to the Hunter themselves. Shax is watching. Okay. Wow, that's actually pretty good. That's a nice little rework there. Alright, so moving on, we've got Lucky Raspberry. So Lucky Raspberry and Arc Bolt Grenades, for that matter, have been out of the limelight for a long while now due to their general slowness and low damage. We've done a pass over both Arc Bolt Grenade itself and Lucky Raspberry to help with some of their consistency issues, as well as bring them into today's build crafting options. So starting with Arc Bolt's Grenade ability, increase projectile lifetime of chain projectile. This helps hit consistency on moving targets that are near the outer edge of the chain range. Now activate 0.1 seconds faster after the initial sensor sweep from 0.6 to 0.5. Increase max chain range of the initial chain from 7 meters to 10 meters. Okay. So the exotic armor here now always applies Jolt on Arc Bolt Grenade hits, returns Arc Bolt energy on any application of the Jolt debuff of triggering the Jolt chains on a target already affected by the debuff. Oh my god. That's really cool. And I'm not even a hunter, man. I can't stand hunters. You know what? Actually, just a quick side note here. DMG tweeted on Twitter saying that he is a hunter main and he might be switching over to a new class based on these changes. We don't know if that's Titan. We don't know if that's Warlock. I guess we'll find out. But if this is what the changes are for Hunter, my god, the changes for Titan and Warlock are going to be so incredible. I personally think he's going to switch to Titan, but we'll see from there. Alright, moving on, we've got Orpheus Rig. So alongside ability changes coming in Renegades, we've also adjusted how Orpheus Rig benefits Shadow Shot. Look forward to more on abilities in our upcoming dev site article. That's the one that I mentioned at the start that I'm super excited for. So increase super duration from 16 seconds to 20 seconds. Cool. That's a nice 4-second buff. Gemini Jester. As mentioned in our Renegades weapon tuning article, Gemini Jester has been updated to use the universal disorient verb. To keep the debuff effects versus players as similar as possible, we gave it some adjustments that should help it feel nearly identical to how it was prior, if not slightly more effective. We've also given it a small bump in duration against PvE combatants. So increase the disorient duration against players from 0.5 seconds to 1 second. In addition to applying disorient, misdirection also removes opposing players hubbed for 2 seconds. That's going to be really annoying. Increase disorient duration against PvE combatants from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. Fine. There you go. We've also gone through this little bit in the last article as well. And that's it for Hunters. We're moving on to Titans now. Oh my god, okay. Right, let's see if Titans are the one that DMG is referencing. Although, Warlocks are after this, and you usually save the best till last, and I'm a Warlock main, so let's just see what happens. Alright, so we've got Arbor Warden. So Arbor Warden hasn't managed to find much of a niche since its introduction to the game. We've made some changes that will let players more aggressively claim space using Baronades with good planning. So picking up 3 orbital power enhances your next Baronade. Enhanced Baronade spawns a Y pattern of 3 of your equipped barricade on Baronade detonation. This does work with barricade modifications like Drenger's Lash or Storm's Keep. Okay. Cool. Wow, that actually might be something to look out for there. Alright, moving on to Doom Marchers. Oh, Doom Marchers. We love a bit of Doom Marchers. So Doom Marchers has always been a strong choice in the Crucible, but have not had much of a home in PvE. With the introduction of Bolt Charge and Storms Keep, no way they're giving a Bolt Charge. In recent releases, we wanted to expand access Bolt Charge. What? We wanted to expand access to Bolt Charge to other... No way. And Doom Marchers would fit perfect. Oh my god. Increase maximum chain count from 4 to 7. Each chain will now grant bolt charge stacks. 3 with the fragment. Oh my god. That is actually mental. Glaive melees can also trigger this chain. And you know what? There's some really good glaive builds out there already. Doom Marchers might be a really good play for some PvE melee stuff. Alright, moving on. We've got Ursa Furiosa. We're making some lighter quality of life improvements and bug fixes to Ursa Furiosa. In particular, the difficulty of an activity scaled how much each absorbed attack scaled the super refund, but not granary refund, which made that part of the perk feel weaker in easier content. So, how are they changing that? It says here, should now properly gain super energy if damage is blocked while the player has a overshield. Super energy stored is no longer scaled based on enemy difficulty. Super energy refund meter fill rate is doubled in at power activities. Super energy refund meter fill rate is buffed by about 13.6% in minus power activities. Alright, moving on, we've got Second Chance here. In activities without barrier champions, Second Chance can be a bit lackluster. While a second charge of shield throw and applying weaken is somewhat powerful, Sentinel Titan does not have much access to melee energy generation, so it struggles to get much value out of either effect. We're giving it a new lease on life with a shield throw centric gameplay loop that doubles down on the Righteous Defender fantasy. So what they've added here, so spawns void breaches on shield throw final blows, grants shield throw melee energy on picking up any void breach. So it kind of just talks to each other then, kind of back to back. That's a nice little synergy going on there. The Sentinel Shield Super's range attack shield throw now also weakens with this exotic equipped. Fixed a bug where anti-barrier shield throw would not bounce to more than 2 targets. That's actually pretty fun, especially if you do want that Righteous Defender fantasy. You've got it even more so now with this. Armamentarium! So while the second grenade charge is somewhat powerful, it's hard to justify choosing Armamentarium over an exotic that gives ability energy in today's sandbox. We're adding another ability to it that is focused on the armaments and ordnance fantasy that the exotic suggests. So now grants 10% grenade energy on weapon final blows. Now reloads the player's equipped weapon when using a grenade ability. Cool. Not too dramatic, but it's nice, right? I don't think anything here is going to be bad, even if it's just slight adjustments. Alright, Lion Rampants. Given the current state of the mobility in the sandbox, we thought that Lion Rampant's restriction to only allow hipfire shooting while in lift is no longer necessary. Fly free, fellow Titans. So now allow shooting while ADS when in lift. Cool. There you go. I doubt we'll be using Lion Rampants with the new Titan exotic that's coming out. If you want to fly, there's other ways to do it. And finally, for the Titans, we have got Peacekeepers. We wanted to equalize the PK's mobility bonus with other exotic and mods that grant increased mobility. Grant increases to mobility. We also accidentally removed a fan favorite hidden interaction from this exotic when we corrected an audio issue during the Edge of Fate, so we have re-added this interaction. So increase the mobility bonus from 25 to 30, re-added ability to swap load SMGs. Great. Okay, I didn't even know about that, but there you go. It's back if you're into that. Alright, moving on to the best class in the game, the class that I represent, the class that I love, the class that I have played for 11 years of my life. Warlocks. Alright, so we have got nothing manacles. This is quite a large one here. So charged and nothing manacles enhanced scatter grenades have been in an awkward spot for some time due to how much slower they deal damage in comparison to the base grenade. We've made some adjustments alongside those made in 9.1.5 to alleviate some of these inconsistencies. Additionally, nothing manacles has gotten a new perk that lets you cascade your scatter grenades and grant some deserved value when paired with the Chaos Accelerant. Reminder of the 9.1.5 adjustments to Charge Scatter Grenade, which is the Charge Grenade now creates 4 more Seekers, increased Charge Seeker damage versus combatants by 25%, improved Charge Seeker tracking versus combatants, and finally increased Charge Seeker lifetime. And then we've got the Charge Scatter Grenade ability, which is faster final projectile speed. So exotic armor now spawns an additional scatter seeker on scatter grenade kill, and this effect can chain. That's going to be really fun to use. Wow. That is going to be really fun to use. All right, moving on to Briarbinds. We've got Briarbinds enables a fun and unique playstyle for Void Warlock, but like many kill-oriented exotics, it struggles to scale into higher difficulty content. We've made some adjustments to it to help it build to its maximum benefit quicker and also give a bit more value earlier in its gameplay loop. So now needs fewer kills to max out the Briarbinds Void Soul damage bonus, so decreased from 4 to 6. Additionally, the Briarbinds Void Soul now does more damage based on the amount of times it has been deployed on a target, so up to 50% more damage after 10 seconds. Right, okay. Oh my god, Winter's Guile. Oh my god. I used to use Winter's Guile quite a lot. I wonder what they're doing with that. Alright, so we've got Storm Dancer's Brace. The potency of Storm Dancer's Brace is almost entirely tied to the power of Storm Trance itself. In the same way we have for some of the other super specific exotics, we've added a bit of a neutral play to Storm Dancers and also a bit of quality of life to its damage bonus to help it scale better in today's sandbox. So while Storm Trance is equipped, now grants Bolt Charge, wow, they love Bolt Charge, for arc ability hits when amplified. Plus, Bolt Charge is such a good perk as well. Storm Trance damage bonus now builds on hits instead of kills. Oh my god, really? Hits instead of... Okay. Increase max count to compensate. Wow. Now needs 30 hits to cap. Top end damage bonus is unchanged. Wow. Oh, that's another one that's going to be really interesting to kind of try out. All right, Winter's Guile now, and this is actually quite a larger one. So Warlocks have a much harder time scaling into melee-centric builds than both Titans and Hunters. Rather than updating Winter's Guile to essentially be the newer version of Wormgod Caress, but for Warlocks, we decided on a more arcane twist. We ended up with a more Warlock-flavored version of that, incentivizing smart build crafting on how you build and spend the new benefits. A bit more effort, but a very potent reward if you manage to reach the Warlock's Rage. So melee and finisher final blows grants bonus melee damage. So melee's final blows grant 1 stack, finisher final blows grants 3 stacks. Oh my god, I wonder if that works with Arc Surge as well. That would be so strong if that actually works with Arc Surge and also Bait and Switch. Actually, you know what? Scrap what I just said because Winter's Guile doesn't roll with Solipsism unless they change it for some reason. Max is now 10 stacks for 4 times melee damage. Stacks are lost 1 at a time, lasts 4.5 seconds. Once you reach 10 stacks, immediately gain 1 melee charge and enters Warlock's Rage. When you activate your melee ability, you have 10 seconds to activate the Warlock's Rage. Okay, fine. So while in Warlock's Rage here, we've got gain dramatically increased melee regen speed. That'd be really fun. Oh my god, that's actually really fun. Holy shit. That's kind of like Controverse Hold for your grenade. Gain faster melee speed. Melee damage bonus increased to 5 times. Last 10 seconds. Loses all stacks on when Warlock's Rage ends. That's so cool. Oh my god, that is sick. I really want to try that. Oh my god, Fellwinter is absolutely popping off with this one. If you guys don't know, in the lore, Fellwinter uses Winter's Guile as his arms. That is really cool. I really like that. I cannot wait to try that. What an incredible rework. All right, moving on, we've got Matiodoxia. We've got Warlocks have long asked for a super damage increasing exotic alongside the likes of Cuirass or Nighthawk. We believe that this is less interesting as an effect for a brand new exotic and that we could instead offer this as a new piece of a pre-existing one. After all, what is Needlestorm if not a bunch of supercharged arcane needles? That is exactly true. That is exactly true. P.S. Look for more on Needlestorm in the upcoming Renegade's ability tuning article. Oh my god. Nice little tease there. Hitting a target with 5 Needlestorm super projectiles will now also activate that word, Suspending Burst. Brilliant. I won't lie to you. The amount of cuts I've just made to get this word right, I can't get it right. That word. The burst now caused by the super deals radically increased damage to all targets caught in the radius. This burst should also allow Needlestorm to feel like a damage contender with the likes of Kuresh Thundercrash. Again, that's another one I would really like to try. The whole reason as to why I haven't used this exotic on my Strand build is because I just don't feel like it really has that much of a viable place. But hey, maybe I can try it out now that they've done this buff. Dawn Chorus, then that's actually what we're finishing with. We're finishing with Dawn Chorus, which is the Solar Warlock helmet. What does it do? What have they done? This one's a spoiler for next week's ability tuning article. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm down for spoilers. We're buffing Solar Warlock's Daybreak super damage by 20% and letting Daybreak scorch targets by default. What? Okay. Essentially, we're shifting some of the Dawn Chorus functionality into the base super. The end result is that Dawn Chorus plus Daybreak's damage is being increased by 5%, and the combo will now allow you to cause ignitions with a single projectile. And with our new exotic universal ornaments feature coming with Renegades, looking like a bug while doing it is now optional. Oh my god. Oh yeah, fair enough. That's so fucking true. Like the helmet does look a little bit ugly, I will be honest with you. So Daybreak plus Dawn Chorus damage is increased by 5% and total Scorch stacks is increased. That's all we have for today, guys. Keep an eye out for our next Dev Insight article where there will be a preview of the ability changes coming in Renegades. Boom! That is the one that I am excited for. That is the one that's coming out next week. I'm so excited for that. If I'm honest with you, I haven't got a bad thing to say about any of this. This is all obviously very, very good. A lot of the exotics that they touch upon specifically for Warlock, I don't really use as much, but I guess the whole point of this article is to incentivize people to use them more. So yeah, I think I'll dabble into a few new things here and there. Now, I did see that DMG did also tweet something. Let's see what he said here. He's definitely here somewhere. There's Portassi. Be careful reading too much into these. Fortnite sends out stuff like this, asking if you want 1,000 different skins and they'll make like 2. Okay, that's the article that we actually just posted on. All right, DMG, where are you at? So Warlocks, I'll be joining you for a bit. So it's the Warlocks that he's chosen. Fine, okay. It's almost time to embrace Warlord's Rage. Sorry, I've been saying Warlock's Rage the entire time, but obviously we want Warlord's Rage. Dope exotic changes coming on December 2nd. So now we know it's not Titans like I predicted. He is moving over to the Warlock side. I kind of want to very quickly see what other people are saying here as well. Sadly, no Warlock exotic changes I was hoping for, but this looks cool. Not sure how it will hold up in the higher level content, but I'm totally into the mini explosive outcome exotics. Okay, that's kind of good feedback there. This person says, can we stop making hunters the most annoying class to play against? Well, this update specifically was for PvE, so you won't really have to deal with this particular adjustment in PvP because, like they said, this is very PvE specific. But yeah, I think I'm going to close it off there. This is a really, really good article. I'm quite excited for it. Pretty much everything that comes out now for Renegades, I am just getting more and more hyped for. It really does look like we're heading in such a positive direction when it comes to the state of Destiny 2, and I really do look forward to what direction we are going in. At the end of the day, none of these words actually matter though until we all actually experience it for ourselves when we jump into the game. But ultimately, guys, like I say in all of my videos, your opinion is what matters most to me. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. You can follow me on all the socials. The links to those are also in the description, as well as the link to the Discord if you want to talk to me personally as well. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you so much for your time today, and I will catch you in the next one, guys. Thank you so much and take care.